So I want to welcome this guy. He's been around the world. He's seen from the inside the great World Economic Forum and the inner workings of our government and Wall Street. So he's really a smart guy, and I want to welcome Dr. Malik. Welcome to the Economic War Room.
It's really great to be with you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, how in the world does somebody go from the WEF and the State Department to being a part of getting Donald Trump elected president and then writing for American greatness?
Well, the long story on that would be my memoir, Davos, Aspen, and Yale. My story behind the elite curtain as a global Sherpa, as Margaret Thatcher once called me. And it is a long and sordid tale, but it means I've been in all those places. I know how that system works, and therefore I'm very dangerous to them.
I bet you are. And then you write this topic, Wall Street will die, which I've been in the investment industry. I've got a chartered financial analyst designation. I worked for John Templeton for a decade. I've been through all of this, and then you tell me Wall Street will die. I mean, that's like telling me the world's going to end.
Well, I was very pleased to hear that word, John Templeton. I served as his advisor. I served on his board, and his foundation gave me a rather large sums of money to do research over the years. So we have that in common. But this is a frightening article. I mean to frighten people. And I think we have to look at this change that is frankly coming about. We're not there yet, but it's coming about. And last year was the beginning of something. And there is, in fact, the possibility that it will no longer be valuable, expected, or even profitable to invest in companies.
Well, tell us about what Wall Street should be like. I mean, when I grew up with Templeton and he built the Templeton Growth Fund, and then I went to work for him, we built the private client group in the 1990s and brought global investing in. Used to be you could invest and you'd have a good savings and retirement program, and the companies were trying to make money so that you got dividends and stock appreciation. So how's it supposed to work?
Well, John Templeton, Peter Lynch, Warren Buffett, other great investors, laid out those strategies, and there were very worthwhile revisiting. It wasn't, as you recall, a get-rich-quick scheme. It was a slow and patient kind of investment over time. You invest in appreciable stocks, bonds, primarily stocks, and the entire economic system, the one that we're talking about that you played in, was focused on growth. It was designed to bring together creative people who lacked resources with people who have those resources. And in fact, that was the genius of the entire US market economy. And there was, I would argue, for decades upon decades. I used to watch Sir John on Wall Street Week with Lou Rukeyser as a child, my mother taking notes on what he would say. You could hear the pin drop. It used to be that you could run those kinds of market plays over the long term, and the market would go up and it would go down, but over the long term it would always grow. The system wasn't collapsing, it wasn't crashing, it wasn't going down forever. Prosperity was made by buying and holding a diverse portfolio of value stocks. And those who understood that and could see the value did well over a generation and passed that on to their heirs. It was a very, very successful formula. And lots of companies were involved. Lots of private companies were involved. Mutual funds, as you mentioned, were involved. Some countries around the world tried to copy that system. Some did better than others. But buying and holding in a patient fashion, I would say, over the long term, was always the way to prosperity.
Yeah, that was the American dream, because you didn't have to start rich. You didn't even have to have a massive salary. If you put enough aside on a weekly basis and cost dollar averaged and did all of that, you could actually make a very nice life for yourself, for your family, and for your heirs. And that was a system because Wall Street was based on serving the shareholder. Back to old Milton Freeman, what's the goal of the board of directors? Is to serve the interest of the stockholder, the shareholder, and to maximize profits for the shareholder. That's unfortunately seemed to change.